What's up, everybody? Welcome to another transmission of COMMS straight out of Tehachapi. Once again, we do have the podcast form going besides the YouTube. So if you don't want to look at my ugly face, go on to Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get podcasts. Download it, subscribe, rate it, leave a little comment. That'd be rad. I guess that stuff helps. I've been told by a couple other podcasters that's what we should do. So
because we're professional,
whatever. Yeah, dude, we're trying to get paid. You know, like we got some monies, go to Hawaii or something. But well, but like it's cool, man. If people want to help out. So, anyways, I'm Andy. Our other host always is Ryan, chilling in Austin, Texas. And our guest today is Dillion, Your Life in America. Great dude, does an awesome radio show. Is it 96.5?
Yeah, it's KZAA 96.5 out of Casa de la Raza in Santa Barbara.
Yeah, so if you're living in the 805, the Oxnard, Ventura, that area, hit it up if you can live. Unfortunately, I don't get it, but he has all this stuff on SoundCloud, and now I think he's coming out on it's actually on Spotify for sure, because I've been listening to it on that. You can catch up on all the old episodes. Just did one with Burt Jenkins from Safe Inside Records. It was dope. Did the one with the dudes from Change, and a bunch of other ones. So anyways, Dillion, so just give us a little breakdown, man, what you've been up to, what you've been doing during the pandemic, how your show works, and how your life works, man.
For sure, yeah. First of all, thank you guys for having me so much. It's an honor for sure. I appreciate it. So the radio show is a community radio show, low power, low frequency community station. And it broadcasts out of Casa de la Raza. So anybody who's played hardcore shows in the 805 probably knows Casa de la Raza. I mean, it's been home to some of the most epic hardcore shows. And I mean, Chili Peppers played there, Bad Brains, Ramones. I mean, everybody's played there. Yeah. So our little radio station is right adjacent to where the shows used to be. And I just do that. Like I volunteer and do that on the side. It started out in 2017 as like I did high school football on the radio. Nice. So that's kind of how I got plugged in. I knew this dude that was involved with the station, and he was like, we need a local sports show. And he's like, will you cover high school football? And I was like, okay, yeah. And so I did that for a couple months, and then I convinced him, to let me do my own thing. And so it originally started out with me and my aunt just doing like stupid, not stupid, but like Seinfeld type humor radio shows, like just about everyday life shit. They're actually pretty funny. And then, life kind of happened and she moved on, and then I started getting more into hardcore stuff, which I always played hardcore. I had like a pre-show before the show where I did an hour of hardcore. And when the pandemic started, I really started reaching out to bands, and John from Slow Bleed was actually the first guy I connected with. And nice, okay. He's such a good dude, man. And he just we had this really cool interview, and he was just really friendly. And after that, I just started hitting people up, and it just kind of snowballed. And now it's it's really my focus is hardcore and interviewing bands and playing new stuff. Like I just got to play some unreleased, like Chemical Fix unreleased track is on the Burt Jenkins episode, and you can't listen to that track anywhere else. And the song is sick. New Time and Pressure's on there, and then there's a new Head Count song also on that episode that you can't listen to anywhere else. So that's been really cool, and that's kind of just where it's at now, and that's I just do it for fun, and my day job. What?
I said we know that's what we're doing too, man.
Yeah, I learned from Bert and a few people that hardcore doesn't pay the bills, so
never will.
Yeah, and then for my day job, I'm a drug and alcohol counselor. I work for a nonprofit drug and alcohol treatment center / homeless shelter in Santa Barbara. I've worked there for like almost 5 years. I just graduated from Santa Barbara City College with the drug and alcohol counseling certification, and associate's degree. And I'll start at Channel Islands, Cal State in the fall. And that's really like, that's my thing, man. Like I've been on the front lines of addiction since a kid with my family. And I lost my mom to alcoholism and my grandma to the same thing. Lots of friends, the mother of my son. I mean, I've lost a lot of people to it. So it's really like that's what I do. It's my passion, I guess, as corny as that sounds. But I work for a great place too. We're like not funded by any insurance or any government shit. So it's like we get to kind of do it in our own way. So I pretty much just do that for work, do the radio show. I'm learning how to surf. I still try to skate, even though I'm older.
How old are you, man?
29. I'll be 30 in a couple months. So.
Oh, you're young, man. You still got it. You got plenty of ankles to roll.
For sure, yeah. And yeah, man, I have a good life. I live in Carpinteria, which is just south of Santa Barbara. Like I can see the beach from my window right now. Yeah. And I mean, that's pretty much an overview, I guess.
That's cool, man. So you didn't start doing the interviews. Slow Bleed was the first one, so that was during the pandemic or during the shutdown, right?
Yeah. So I interviewed like a lot of local bands, like some of my homies, my good friends in a band called No Divide out of Santa Barbara, and they're super sick. I interviewed like a few rappers from Santa Barbara, but I wasn't really like, I don't know, man. I'm kind of like a transplant in this area, and I was away from hardcore for a long time because of incarceration and a lot of other issues. And so I feel like I kind of had this weird thing where like I didn't feel like I was a part of because I was away for so long. And but yeah, the pandemic really allowed me to like reach out to people and get over that fear, and really take the time to like dial in what I want to do. And it's just, it's been really cool.
That's cool, man. Because I know I caught that Slow Bleed one, but I didn't grasp that was your like first hardcore or whatever, like interview with someone outside of your like homie circle. So man, that's you've been doing a great job since day one, man. So props.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that was definitely the first thing outside of like my friends that I did, and then I just started reaching out to people, and my interview with you too was like one of my first ones that really.
I would never know. You're way better than me.
Yeah, maybe it's the counselor in me. I don't know, but
yeah.
I got to interview Danny Trejo too.
What's that?
I got to interview Danny Trejo too, the actor. If you guys know who that is, Machete.
Yeah. Machete. That's awesome.
That's cool.
He was cool, man. Yeah, he was cool. That was really awesome. Is he
from Santa Barbara, or how'd that come about?
No, he has a record label, and one of the artists on his record label reached out to our radio station to play some of her new singles, and they just forwarded it to me, and they were like, hey, your show would be the most fitting to do this. So I was like emailing his assistant, and we Zoomed, and that one's on Spotify too, and he was such a cool guy, man. It was really cool. Yeah, it was cool.
I didn't see that one yet. Nice. Heck yeah. That's rad, man. Well, all right. Well, like we do, let's get into some records, man. You picked a record, one of the best. If you want to go ahead and drop it, we'll get into it, man.
Yeah. I mean, when you asked me, I was like, I want to pick a record that means something to me, like that I'm emotionally connected to. That was one of the first big albums for me. And that was Start Today from Gorilla Biscuits was one of the first ones that came to mind. And it's just, I mean, yeah, my friend, I grew up with him, this guy, Rudy, he played in Minority Unit and this band called New Brigade. I actually went to high school with him, and he put me on to Start Today when I was like, we were like freshmen in high school. And I was coming from a place where I was listening to a lot of like street punk, like A Global Threat and like The Unseen and stuff like that. So Siv's voice was very easy for me to listen to. No, it's very like, it's very like, you know, it's very easy to listen to. And I mean, musically, you know, instrumentally, the record is amazing. You know, the breakdowns, the riffs, the bass lines, just the harmony of the vocals. You know, he has a great voice, you know, like singing and screaming, the harmonica, you know what I mean? Like it's just and it's like from top to bottom, every single song is like, you know, I mean, yeah. And lyrically it covers all the bases lyrically, you know. You got friendship, racism, you know, the vegan cats and dogs, being brainwashed by the media and stand still, you know, it's just got like everything. So
yeah, I agree, man. I definitely one of the first records that I ever really, when I got into hardcore, I was more listening to like early Offspring and Rancid and probably like Suicidal Tendencies and some of that, some stuff like that. And so when I got into hardcore, my friends were all in like the straight edge, super straight edge, like Earth Crisis and so I liked more like this melodic. So this record hit home right away just because it was melodic. Like you said, his vocals, he goes from singing to talking to kind of a growl into like real melodic singing. Just real, and like the topics, everything is on point. Walter is a genius, you know, like, so the songwriting is, I mean, next level. I mean, it's definitely a top 10 hardcore record of all time. I would think that, I don't think many people would argue with that. Even the layout's awesome, dude. The cover, you know, with the different colors is so dope, man. Like,
yeah,
when you see those three colors, you just know, oh, that's Start Today. Like, just, they did a great job with everything.
I mean, from the top, like right when the horns all start, like the horns come in, and it's just it's perfect. Like the whole rest of the way through, you know. Every time I go through a spat where I listen to it pretty regularly, and I always end up having like a new favorite song every single time. But like, there is not a much more classic song though than like a classic hardcore song than New Direction. It's like the quintessential hardcore song. I mean, it's so good.
How many bands have you seen cover that?
A lot, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure the first time we went to the East Coast, like every other band we played with over there covered it. And like, why not? You know, either that or you do that, or like, you know, you play Cro-Mags Don't Tread on Me, and like everyone's gonna mosh, everyone's gonna sing along, like everyone is going to. They might think your band sucks, but they're gonna go crazy to that song, you know, like, so it's a no-brainer. It's so good. Like,
yeah, the horn is like, I wanted to bring that up too, because, you know, the horn it's just like, it's so epic. I feel like the record was a little bit ahead of its time too, you know, with like,
for sure, big time.
Like just with some of the things they threw in there. Like, I don't know how many other bands in the late 80s were doing that kind of stuff, you know, so I think it was pretty like revolutionary in that way. But yeah, and then it's just like the horn ends and it's like jin jin, and it's just like pandemonium, dude. You know, like,
yeah. You see them, I don't know if you got to see them live yet, but like when they're even to this day, when the horns kick in, dude, everybody's stage dive. It's cool, and it's pandemonium for sure.
Yeah, I got to see him at the Roxy on Sunset, and the dude, like, I don't know who it was, but he like stuck the horn like out, because you know the Roxy, they have like the red velvet curtains, and like
just out the curtain,
dude. Yeah, just the horn came out, and it was like, and then just like the gives me chills now, and the curtains open. It's like jin jin, and everybody's just like, it's
was that the show with Fury? Does Fury play there?
Yeah, Fury. Yeah, they did like 2 in one day, and I was at the night one, and it was was epic for sure.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, even the whistling part, like I said, it's just like
and a
they
buzz
took so many chances and just hit a home run with every single one of them.
Yep, and a Buzzcocks cover, which is also super cool too. You know.
Yeah, I mean, definitely those dudes, and everyone that plays on the record is like legit musician that went on to do 10 other bands that are legendary. You know, like or 10 other bands came out of Gorilla Biscuits that are all bands that we all love in different genres and you know whatever. So
yeah, Toby Morse has like backup vocals on it, which is cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stories. If you listen to that Where It Went podcast when they do the Gorilla Biscuits one, they talk about, I want to say like Ray B's is in there or you know doing backups and like yelling funny stuff or whatever, like just messing around with them. Yeah, it's like it must have been a cool time in hardcore to be to witness all this stuff, dude. Especially, and I can't imagine what that record, what people thought when it came out.
I know.
I mean, I don't know what to compare it to with a different, just the way they did the songs, the way they did the different instruments. I don't know. I don't know if there's a record that you could say like, oh, this is kind of like the New Start Today, but
they did a great job of basically like clearly caring about what they were doing, but also not taking themselves too seriously.
Yeah,
like, it's like this perfect balance of like we mean what we're saying, but we're having fun, you know, and it comes across in such a catchy way. It's awesome.
Yeah. I did write that down. That I think they cover some serious topics, but like not in an overly serious way, like where they're like still having fun with it. So
yeah,
sure. Like Things We Say is like when you say that, I think about that song. You know,
yeah, sure. That's my favorite. That's my favorite one for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely a great record. I'm glad you picked it, man.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I guess I didn't send you the ratings. Do you know the ratings?
You know, I kind of like listened to it when you guys were doing it, but I don't think I really like understood it fully.
So that's my bad. I didn't send you the whole breakdown. But this record is Illmatic. I don't care what anyone else says. So
okay. That's the highest the highest rating is Illmatic. That's the legendary, like that's the guy. And I'm not going to tell you the rest until after because
well, it checks out too because Illmatic is one of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time and it's New York, so yeah, Illmatic, no questions asked. Anybody who disagrees is, I don't know.
I feel like if you're telling people they don't like this record, I think you're just trying to front and be like, I like the stuff. I like the demo better or whatever, you know, like one of those things. It's like, no,
trying just real hard to be contrarian, you know, just because everybody else likes it, I'm not going to like it. Yeah, that's ridiculous. It's Illmatic for sure.
For sure. So, so we all agree. And I gotta say, this is probably the first show thing that we've done episode where to me both records are probably some of my favorites. So I was super stoked this week listening to these old records over and over again, and listening to the other Gorilla Biscuits, the 7-inch and the one on with the extended songs, and then all the Warrior stuff. So I picked the next record, and I picked the Warriors Monomyth. Came out Pure Noise 2019. I love this record, man. Like I legitimately think I'm part of the band, so like it's kind of weird, but I consider myself part of the Warriors. But
that's right.
No, but I mean, I've always loved these kids, man. They're from Tehachapi, so I got to represent Tehachapi hardcore, Tehachapi and Oxnard. So that's really where the connection solidified itself between the two cities, and we're still all friends and hanging out. And I mean, that's basically the reason Ill Communications is a band. We all met, and then 20 years later, we're still friends and doing stuff. But I think this record's awesome, man. The recording's awesome. I don't know if you ever listened to this with headphones on. The way it's engineered, just the different levels of music and vocals and the background vocals, how they're more melodic and kind of singy. I feel like anyone that likes heavy music should like this. If you like the Deftones, I know a lot of hardcore kids love to say how they love the Deftones, which is cool, but I don't know why you wouldn't love this because it's awesome. I feel like the pandemic kind of did them dirty. They put that record out and they did a tour with Terror, and they're kind of getting some steam, and then COVID shut everything down. And I think if this would have came out probably in COVID, there would have been a lot more hype on it. Like some of those records that came out during COVID, you know, like the Mind Force, the Swinging Swords, and the Gulch record. That those are both awesome records, but they came out and then just the word of mouth, and maybe the Warriors don't have a good enough social media presence, but I think it would have blown up if people weren't worried so much about going to shows and they just caught the record on a social media, put it in their head right away kind of vibe. But that's kind of my take on it. What do you guys feel?
So, I mean, like you said, these guys are family. So it's, of course, always going to be a high rated record for me. But it's just so, it sounds so much like them, but it's all over the place with a lot of the stuff that they're trying. And they do that, they did it all well. Like they hit it out of the park. Like everything they tried to do and wanted to do, it seems like they just nailed it. So to me, it kind of ebbs and flows, all the songs and like the little like breaks and stuff. And when it's heavy, it's heavy. When it's catchy. And I'm impressed, like all the things that they tried to do on it, and they did well. You know, it's really cool.
I feel like the sequencing and the chances they took both paid off big time. They both, you know, that's to me and that's Roger, dude. Roger's a genius, and Donnie produced a bunch of it. And after doing some stuff with him with Ill Communication, like I'm like, oh, that was Donnie right there. Like him and Roger together are just masterminds, dude. I know Steve Choi was in there. Some other rad dudes were helping him out. A lot of guest vocals. I did notice I'm the only person in the whole world that's not on this record, but I'll have to ask Marshall about that tomorrow when I talk to him.
I was going to bring that up.
I was there. I sang backups on it.
I bet, yeah.
Oh, I get it, dude. I get it. I suck. What do you think, Dylan?
I mean, I agree with everything you guys are saying. I think so. When I was in high school, the Warriors were a big deal, man. Like they used to come through Showcase all the time, and so many kids at my school used to rock that dark blue tee with just the Warriors in yellow across the front. Like that was all over the place.
They've always had good merch, dude, and the art on this record is dope too, and the packaging. They've always had good merch.
So I think I had to listen to this one without comparing it to any of their other records, if that makes sense, you know, because they have a very unique sound, you know, heavy but like different. And so I've been listening to it when I've been running a lot, and I mean it comes out with a bang, you know what I mean? Like I forget what the first line is, but it's just like boom, you know, like he just Marshall just starts going right into it, and that caught my attention right away. And at first I was like thrown for a loop on let me see the song, I forget what it's called, the one that like The Fountain of Youth.
Oh, like, yeah, that's one of my favorite, dude, with the electronic stuff.
Dude, yeah, like the first time I listened to it, I was like, whoa, like it takes a really intense shift, in my opinion, you know. And I think what they did with the whole thing is really fucking cool. Like they definitely like went outside of the box, I think, and made it flow really well. And I really like what you said, Ryan, like when it's heavy, and you're like, all right, like this is, you know, it's good. And the other thing too is like the guest vocals, man, that just shows me that like you're a band that has a large group of friends, and a lot of people are down to roll out to your studio or to send you whatever to be on your record. Like to me, that shows like a band full of solid people, you know. Cause like I was on here like Googling this shit, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's so many people like
I mean, they took it way back too, man. They got like Jamie from Make Move and some other like oh man, that was cool. I haven't heard him in a while. Like they had some cool Zach's on there. Yeah, they really Vinny's on there. They did a great job, dude, with the guest vocals, dude.
Yeah, and then I just love like the kind of in the middle of the record, or I think it's like right before Fountain of Youth, there's the voicemail clip, and I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I don't know who that is, but that's just like a really like intimate thing to put on a record, you know?
Yeah, that's their buddy. Marshall's good friend Hutch. He passed away from cancer. Super sad, man. And yeah, I mean, definitely. I don't know. I mean, like that was super emotional. I think that, and it was a bold move. I think because people might go like, "What the hell is this?" You know, just like dick hardcore kids are going to be like, "Why is this on here?" But to those dudes, that meant that, you know, and especially to Marshall, that's his like homie, and the fact that everyone else was down for that, which I don't know, of course they're going to be, but I think they all knew Hutch too. But he lived in Spokane with Marshall, and that was really cool that they did that. And it was just like, they're just a band big enough to be like, we're doing this because this was our dude and we're doing it. And they put on a record, which probably going to be their last record ever. And they, you know, like where someone else might have been like, oh no, this song's dedicated in the liner notes. You know, they fully went above and beyond that and like really shined it, you know? So yeah, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I love that, man. That I wrote that down too to just bring up because I thought, you know, I could tell just by where it was at in the record and that it just like that it was very meaningful. And I thought it was so cool, you know? And yeah, just like all the extra stuff. Like I don't play instruments or anything like that. So I don't know, but like the synth, it's like sounds almost like synthesizing and then like the sound effects, like they made it work, you know, like a lot of bands would be afraid to do that, you know, and I
guess it's kind of like Start Today. They took some chances.
Exactly. Yeah. And of course, like, I'm sure tons of people are like, oh, the fuck, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, whatever, you know, but I thought
the guys in the Warriors don't care one bit what someone thinks like that, though. I guarantee you that. They're like, whatever, don't buy it then. Don't listen.
Yeah.
You know, you listen to whatever you want to listen to, you know, you're whatever, but yeah, if you, what's really cool is they did I don't know if it's on Pure Noise or it's probably definitely on YouTube, which I don't know if you've seen it or not, but they did a bunch of videos. Sean Scattelberg, I don't want to get his name wrong, but he's a cool does kind of movies and stuff, and he filmed a bunch of their stuff and so there's videos of like all these different dudes like playing these different instruments and the whole process of recording it. It's like 3 or 4 little snippets or clips, nice. Short movies, and they're all super rad.
Nice. Yeah, I'll check that out for sure. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much my take on it. I think they took a chance to do something different and killed it, and I think it's dope.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be one of those records that people will look back on later and go, "Oh man, you know what's really cool is this record." Everyone wanted it to be War is Hell Part 2, and that's already knocked loose. So I think they nothing against Lock Loose, they're dope, but like I am glad the Warriors did this as their swan song, and I wish more people would and hopefully maybe when COVID comes back they'll play some shows and go out and people will get to see them and get to hear these songs live, but if not, I mean, still I think it's a record that we look back on and people will be like, damn, I shouldn't have slept on that.
For sure.
So I guess we'll rate it. You know, Ryan, you go first. I gotta think about it.
Well, I was gonna say believe the hype. Now, it's a tough call if this is the best record they've done. I mean, it definitely is the best record, the best made record by far.
Yes. Yeah.
But now, is it my favorite? It's not. Like I love
Beyond the Noise is my favorite 100%.
Mine too. I was going to say Beyond the Noise is my hands down favorite, but this is awesome.
That one, but Yeah. You familiar with that one, Dylan?
Beyond the Noise?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, not like in detail, but War is Hell is the one I definitely jam the most because I don't know, it's just that's what I know the Warriors by.
Yeah, I think War is Hell is definitely the most popular. And maybe again with Beyond the Noise, that's just whatever, you know, seeing Danny and Donnie basically go from little kids to men writing these songs. All those guys just, you know, they recorded it or they wrote it in this house across the street from my house right here when they were young. And it's like going over there and hanging out, and it's like, man, these kids are on, and that record's you know, it's almost like a concept album with Siddhartha if you really want to get into it, which we're not going to do that right now, but super cool that these guys were like, you know, and I'm like, what in the world? You know, like they're definitely were just ahead of their time. And I love that record. But you're right, Ryan, this record, the Monomyth is definitely the most thought out. Well, the players are all great at their instruments. Marshall's on point with the lyrics. They're dark, they're poetic, they cover some topics you don't have to think about it too much because you can figure it out real quick. I mean, I'm gonna rate it Illmatic, just because I think that through the test of time, it's gonna be a record that when people look back to their catalog, War is Hell's the funnest. Beyond the Noise is definitely like their step of like, hey, we're not just little kids anymore. We're dudes that are doing this band that's gonna be more than just like a hardcore band, and they're really special. And the next two records I feel like are good, but definitely not my favorite. There's just some songs on them, and that was definitely a transitional period, leaving Danny and Donnie leaving the band, and then Monomyth was everyone coming back together. Danny, Donnie, Joe, you know, Marshall, Roger, everyone, Charlie, Avi, all those dudes were ripping at their instruments. They're writing the best they've ever done, and they just killed it. So that's my rating.
Nice.
Dylan, what do you say?
You guys got to break down the second half of the rating system to me real quick.
So we got oh gosh, man. Just below Illmatic is Believe the Hype. Okay. So I'm not gonna let it rate. You rate it below that. So no, but I'm trying to blank. What is below the hype, Ryan? What's?
I believe it's is it Flavor of the Week? Flavor? No.
Oh, there's one more.
I don't remember, man. I don't think we've ever gone that low on anything.
Okay. I think I'm like right there with you, Ryan. Like, that's why I started by saying I couldn't listen to this in comparison to other Warriors albums. I had to take like a really, you know, just like, okay, this is a piece of music that I'm not going to compare to anything. And I mean, based on that, I would give it Illmatic. Maybe it was my last listen today to it when I'm like, dude, this shit is fucking cool, man. Like this is,
I agree.
You know what I mean? Like this is cool because it's different, and I just, yeah, I
did think that like with a lot of people, War is Hell is a time and a place, you know. I'm that with a lot of records, you know, like everyone like Modern Life is War, My Love, My Way, like will always be my favorite record because that's when I met those dudes. We played shows with them, we hung out with them. They come to Attach, be like, all their other records are cool, and people might like, dude, they're so much better. But to me, I'll never like those records more than I like the one that were like, dude, I was here.
Yeah.
We were here. Ryan from In Control jumped off the staircase here, freaking killed a bunch of people, you know, whatever. Like, dude, like there's so many things that are like tied into that record. So I feel like a lot of people have that with War is Hell, and then not so much Beyond the Noise. And then, because even when they toured on Beyond the Noise, they were still playing War is Hell mostly. And then when they went on to Victory, they played some of those records. But I honestly think that for the most part of their career, they played mostly War is Hell songs, because those were the funnest to interact live. So yeah. I understand why people might be like, "Oh, that was my jam," and because it is a dope record, man. And that one is Illmatic to me as well. And we'll probably do that one in another episode, but for different reasons. But I'm glad that you like this new one. I hope everyone will get into it. So, but Well, what's next for you, Dylan? Who's your next interview? When's it coming out, man?
Just kidding.
I don't know.
So let's see. What do I got? Oh, I'm interviewing Near Dark next week. I don't know if you guys have listened to Near Dark.
Who are you interviewing?
Tyson and the other guitar player, I think. And I know, like, Matt from Discouraged was like, "Yo, the singer of that band sang in Set Your Goals," and I was like, "Oh shit, I didn't."
Matt's the only one I know. I talked to him a bunch. I was trying to do a split with Ill Communication, but it didn't work out. But maybe someday. I love that band. They're super cool. Matt's a super cool dude. Yeah, so that's gonna be awesome. If you haven't checked out that band, anyone who's listening to this, all 10 of you, check that band out.
But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Just stay tuned for like a bunch of cool interviews, and I'm getting a lot of bands hitting me up to play like unreleased tracks. So yeah. I think I'll be getting, especially now that, and big thanks to Andy who put me on game to the Spotify thing. So now I'm like going back through my archive of like 90 shows trying to get some. I
got a shout out to Sean Hopman then from Another City. He's the one that put me onto that too. So
yeah,
we got to keep the pay it forward. So
yeah,
no, I'm stoked to hear all your old episodes, man. That's gonna be rad.
Yeah, but thank you guys so much for having me, man. Appreciate it.
We'll definitely send some
it was a pleasure.
Some unreleased Ill Communication tracks when that gets announced and dropped. Both of you guys already know what's up, but yeah, so we're looking forward to that.
That's gonna be a big one, man. I mean,
we're pretty excited. The record's done now, man. Just getting mixed by the Magic Man Rogers. So, well, you'll hear it soon enough. Well, you hear it before most people, both of you guys, but hopefully you guys like it. So somebody will.
Dude, like you guys, like, I'm not just saying this because I am doing this and everything. Like it's one of my favorites, and having both EPs on one side of a 12-inch to just listen all the way through is the best thing I could have asked for.
I'm glad you like it, man. That was all I said. That was all Sean from Another City. His masterminding, and he's actually he'll be the episode before you, man. So
nice.
But Dylan, thanks for coming on the show, man. Again, this whole thing for me and Ryan is about me and Ryan get to hang out and just reconnecting or connecting with new dudes and new people. I'm sorry, not just dudes. And so we are psyched that we got to hang out with you for a little while, and look forward to meeting you in person and hanging out. And maybe one day you and Ryan will stage dive at the same time and do like a collapse into each other and explode.
That's the end of hardcore right there. That's hardcore.
I'll be in the middle and you'll just kill me, and we'll all die together.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you guys so much for having me.
All right.
Yeah, well, thank you, Dylan.
All right.
Check out Your Life in America on Spotify and everywhere else you can get it, man. All those episodes are good. All right.
Peace.
All right.